Okay, can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
We'll get our flag one of these days.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, that's right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I have to call the meeting to order. So the meeting is now called to order. Oops, so we're going to call to order before the pledge.
Okay.
There it is. I knew it was coming.
I called 3 phones and everybody turns their phone off before 5:30.
Yeah, we do. We were told to.
I was on the phone for 45 minutes, just on hold with U.S. Cellular.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I just tried to call you back, but it went right to voicemail.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Okay, Bender,
Here.
Aldensee,
Here.
Sellers,
Here.
Martin, here, Supervisor Sellers.
Here.
Thank you.
We're all present and accounted for. Okay. First order of business is the approval of minutes of the October 7th, 2013 Town Board regular meeting. I'd like a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Need a second? Motion by Bender, second by Sellers, yes?
I was not at the October 7th meeting, and I see a couple of things that I have to ask about. It says here that $11,985.25 was spent out of the consulting line. I had the expenditures from May in front of me that we were given by you, Mr. Sellers, at one of our first meetings, and that only amounted to $3,138.75. Where did the $11,000 come from?
The accrual basis.
No. Legally, we have to go by cash, as I understand it. Accrual only comes in when our audit is adjusted.
No,
Yes,
no,
I believe that's true.
it's not.
Well, that's how we've operated in the past, and I
Yes.
would ask Mr. Phillips to check into that. I understand that all governments, municipalities, and I think that we come under that, have to go by a cash basis.
When I went to the public budgeting for governmental entities in the master's program in NIU, they encouraged all governmental bodies to use accrual basis.
Okay, then I want to know where that, what was the difference then between what's here as the cash line and what came up to the 11,000? Do we know what that is?
Absolutely.
What is it?
The 6,000 of that was from the contract that we paid Decision Systems.
I believe that contract was paid in 2012.
Come out of my
It
budget.
was not. It was paid in 2013.
Come out of my budget.
Okay, and what was the date of that?
That would have been an April payment, I believe almost, if I'm not mistaken, April 22nd.
Okay, I'd like to see that.
Go back and check your claims and demands.
I have it right in front of me.
So then you should be able to find the ones in April.
Yeah, then I have them with me, so I will check that, but that did not make sense to me at all, so I will check. Okay, the other thing,
I wasn't all the way finished yet. We had another
sorry.
$2,300 for manpower that we paid out of a temp person that we hired full-time, and they had to pay the contract out to manpower.
and that came out of your consulting
Yes, it
line.
did.
There wasn't another line that could have come out
No,
of?
it could have, but it came out of my consulting line.
That was done too before the 20th.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll check that.
Okay.
I'll check that.
And another
Okay.
$2,500 for Attorney Sisler. Came out of my consulting line, not out of legal.
No, it should have come out of legal
Should have,
services.
but it didn't.
Why not?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Well, it shows that it came out of legal services on this one.
Okay, well, I can show you where it came out of my,
Then why did you give
Why?
us this one that showed that it came out of legal services? Right here.
No,
This is
it
the one
wasn't.
that you gave us.
no, that,
It was
that-
run 6/12.
6/12 was before Patrick took office.
6/12
No,
was
that's
June.
June 12th.
June.
June
Okay,
12th.
June 12.
That was.
And this was given to us by him. So I want to know why that came out of consultants and not legal, because that was legal.
You know what we can do? Hold one second.
Sure.
I'll give you all the information you need.
Okay.
So we're gonna take care of this one. start spreading the news.
Because of the veto session. Everybody's going down after the veto session. So one of the two ones was both. And then two always, sweets, which is another reason why I'm thinking because of the rights and the change. But you know, yeah, that's what there's you could probably still go online and get it.
Just wait till I go into my phone.
Yeah.
There's another repost though too, yes.
Yeah.
It's probably very bad in the same day.
You have to go back now.
Where is it at?
They say it's 7 days to go down to November 11th, which I think is
I
how.
know, when you can go up.
Right.
Because we're gonna
Is that the same time as you guys?
yeah, that, I'll let you know on the next.
I glanced at one over. Really disappointed by the Friday session.
I was, well, looking at that, yeah. Are you doing it?
I did vote.
Was it good? Did you bring anything?
On Friday?
Yeah. Do you have to go back Saturday?
No, I'm going to 2 days from now, in a couple of weeks, so it didn't make any sense to go back, but especially since I have to leave the south.
Oh, yeah.
I have to have our fiscal officer reprint the information.
Rather than wasting the board time, I would be happy to come in and meet with you, and you can go over that with me.
And
Okay? So
it can
that
be-
we don't have to,
It can be UI and the fiscal officer,
That
so
would
she can
be
explain
great.
to you what
That would-
accrual basis is and where this money came from. Okay.
that would be fine. I'd be
All right.
happy to do that, because I don't think we have to take up the time now.
Mm-hmm.
The other question I had was, it says here that real estate taxes for 2012 were not included in the ordinance. We were in this building in 2012. As I understand it, we as a government entity don't pay real estate taxes.
Yeah, but you owe taxes from January 1 through the day that the government bought it. So for that portion of 2012,
Give me the
taxes
dates.
would, whatever day it was bought.
We bought it in November.
Right, whatever
of
date.
2011.
No, November 2012.
12.
This is 2013.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, we came in 20.
12.
Oh, okay, so there was a discrepancy between January and November.
Not discrepancy, but in any real estate delegation, they split the real estate taxes when the sale's in the middle of the year. The seller pays for the portion of the seller was responsible, and the buyer pays for it after they purchase it. So in this case, there was nothing after we purchase it, because we're a government, it won't be exempt. However, the first 10.5 months of the year, there was taxes due, and that was part of the settlement statement that was on for the purchase, and which we got a credit on the settlement, so we didn't have to pay that $11,000, an amount as part of the purchase price. That got deducted from the purchase price, but then we became legally obligated to pay the real estate taxes since we had gotten a credit on the HUD 1
Okay,
form.
so we got a credit, which then mandated us to pay them.
Right.
Okay. Okay, all right. Those are my two questions on there, and I will come in and go over that with you, Mr. Sellers.
Good.
Under other business, the purpose of the October 15th meeting was that Sellers and fiscal officer would review the appropriation ordinance and present proposed changes to the board for approval. Did I miss something? Were there proposed changes made on the 15th?
No, there was never an intention to, and I said that at the beginning, there's never any intention to propose changes at that meeting. It was more of an informational, we're going to have to propose changes, but nobody was expecting us to be ready to make the changes at that time.
Okay, well, that's not what this says, so I just needed that clarification. Okay,
I think I said that verbally at the previous meeting, just to
Yeah.
clarify that we weren't gonna talk about what changes. We're just gonna say, this is the situation we're in, board, where do you want us to go from here?
make the changes. Okay, those were my questions, and thank you for hearing me out.
I have a question on what Nikki asked to begin with, the consulting fees.
Mhm.
Was this for Laverne and it was paid in advance
Mhm.
before you even did the work?
Yeah.
That was before you even took office.
Mhm.
Without a contract.
Yeah, without a contract.
Yes.
For how
Well,
many years?
he's gonna go over that with me, and I'd be happy to sit down with him and go over that. Because I don't think,
Well,
I
that's
don't
your
wanna
question,
take
this is
your
her
time.
question,
This is
Nikki,
my
it's not
question.
yours.
Sorry?
That's her question.
Oh, sorry.
So what's there to go over if the previous administration did this and you had no choice but to pay Laverne?
Yes.
No,
But
he didn't pay him,
the-
we already paid him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But it was out of his budget.
okay.
in order for Trustee Martin to have her questions answered, I will meet with her along with the fiscal officer, and we will answer her questions.
Now, was this approved to be paid by the previous administration?
Yeah.
So the trustees approved it also?
Yes.
Yep. I didn't.
Well, you didn't approve any of those, so.
No, I'm so glad I didn't.
Yeah, me too.
Man,
All right.
can't blame me for any of it.
All right. So,
We need to have a voice vote now to approve it.
yes, need a voice vote to approve the minutes for October 7th, 2013.
Aye.
I second.
We've already second, we just voting on
That's what I
it.
thought.
It's a,
All in favor?
All in favor?
aye.
Those opposed?
No, until I meet with you, okay?
Mickey, you weren't here for the meeting, so legitimately
I
you
can't
can't.
vote anyway?
Right.
Okay,
No,
present.
no, she can always
She can
vote
vote.
on the minutes, whether she was here or
Mm-hmm.
not.
She can vote.
That's a misconception.
Okay.
Right. She can vote.
So you're gonna vote no, Mickey?
I'm voting no until I meet
Until
with
It's a
Mhm.
Mr.
voice
Sellers.
vote.
It's a voice vote.
carried.
Yeah.
So carried.
All right, thank you.
All righty. Next on the agenda is the approval of claims and demands and bills payable. I need a motion to approve claims and demands, but we're gonna have discussion about it.
So moved.
So moved.
Ender and Sellers?
Yep. All right. Body.
Okay,
Take a nice
question.
look at claims and demands. Yes.
The Greg Planey bill
Mhm.
comes out of the assessor's budget
Mm-hmm.
for $1,192.77.
Mm-hmm.
I believe, Cindy, you only budgeted 500.
That's possible.
Okay, so you're over in your, and are you gonna do some line item transfers on that?
There'll be an amendment to that line item.
Okay. As I understand those amendments, they have to be done within a certain amount of time and only at 10%. Am I wrong, Michael, on that?
I'm not sure they have to be done before the beginning of the next fiscal year.
But
And
don't the
there's
line
a
item-
I don't know if there's a line item 10% or cumulative fund 10% change.
Well, if it's a cumulative fund,
It's per fund, what I mean. I don't mean, it's the changes have to be by fund, no more than 10% is my understanding, but I'm,
so quotes unquote, we're talking then fund, like
general
contractual?
fund, no, general fund or general assistance fund or whatever, one of the other funds we have.
So you think it is by fund, that's your definition?
That's my preliminary opinion until I look at it further.
Okay. You know, I
Because
wish
I-
you would, because we always did line item adjustments throughout the year.
Right, I understand that. I spoke with one of the largest township attorneys in the state, and he's always 10% per line item. I said, look at it, look at the book again, it's 10% per fund. He goes, oh, it does say that, doesn't it? So,
Okay,
that is a confusing point to a lot of people, so that's why I want to make sure. I haven't looked at the interpretations of case law. I just looked at the summary put out by the township officials.
Okay.
So I haven't gone through it all yet.
okay. That just makes me a little nervous, that's
One
all.
of the other issues, of course, is whether we have to lay it over 30 days too. For any,
Well, yeah,
so, I've been
because isn't
working on
that
that.
part of the hearing process? You know, you have to
Question.
publish and then you have to lay it over and,
I think you have to, I'm not, it says you use the same procedure. I've asked several townships, they're looking at it and go, no. I go, it says use the same procedure.
that we do to establish the budget.
Yes, and they said, well, yeah, it says that, but we never do that.
Whoa.
Okay. So, we won't be identifying which
Sounds
townships we're
familiar.
talking about.
Sounds familiar. Okay, okay, that was my question.
Yes.
Why does it sound familiar?
Oh, because that's what we've been doing since he took office, is all of this stuff seems to be accumulating and nothing seems to be being adjusted.
Do you know how he came into this office? Oh my God. And you know
That
it.
budget was, as I said last time, that budget was made the same way we've made budgets for the last 10 years. And they're by projections,
I realize that.
both
I
the
was here when some of
revenue
those budgets were
and
made.
the actual expenditures.
But we never
But
had
we
a mess
adjust
like
those
this.
as the year goes on, so that by the time the end of the year comes, we know what we've spent and what we've not spent.
Right. So at the end of the year, when it comes,
We better know.
yeah.
We didn't
We
know.
better know before that.
You
Yeah.
better know before you do budgeting for the next year.
Yeah, exactly.
And understanding we are $202,000 in the hole, so before we start, we
We would not
understand
be
that.
if we adjust our budgets.
But we wouldn't have to if they were,
Adjust
If he
our
wasn't in the
budgets.
hole, he wouldn't have to adjust the budget. We wouldn't be in this position
We've
right
adjusted our
now.
budgets every year I've been on
He
this
couldn't
board.
do it for 6 months.
By
You
the
know-
end of the year, he should be able to
Well,
adjust
yeah, by
that
the end of
budget.
the year.
I will.
But we're already in
oh,
the
we
hole.
will, so,
Right.
you know.
Right,
that's what
let's-
we're
let's-
We
gonna-
were always,
Let's
we
move
were
on.
always shown as
But they're
in the
gonna be
hole.
adjusted and everything's gonna be amended and we're gonna be on the right track, so.
That's a
Not
good
gonna
way
worry
to
about
think
what they
about
did.
it. Hope
That's
it never
right.
happens again.
It won't. Are there any more questions on claims and demands?
I see that, we're getting a lot more of Family Dollar again, you know, is that it? I mean, I just noticed that we're getting a lot more of that. And then I also noticed that we're giving a lot to the housing authority.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
You know, why is that all of a
All the
sudden?
new ones moving in from Chicago.
People are moving into housing.
Huh?
People are moving into housing.
Where do you need to live anyplace else then?
Is that partly, do you think, because, you know, we put such restrictions on having houses be appropriate, so that it's easier for them to go into the
No,
housing
actually, it's because we're
authority?
having people, an influx of people from different
From
areas.
Chicago.
And they're coming
We
in
had
to
4
move
of
in
them
housing.
today.
Okay, okay.
Four
Are we
of them
building
today.
back to their home?
Yes, we are.
Okay, okay. Just needed to know that.
And
Uh,
and so, you know, I know that when I used to be the attorney with the Housing Authority, they had 268 families on their waiting list, cumulative, for, depending on what size housing, one
Right,
bedroom, two
right.
bedroom, 4 bedroom. So, I mean, they had a lot of people waiting to get into public housing.
Right.
And these are just single individuals, right?
No, these are families too.
These are families.
We're paying,
No, I'm
No, no,
sorry,
no.
no, no.
No.
Public housing does have for families,
Oh.
and that's what I'm saying. I'm not
Yeah.
talking about us, I'm talking about families
These are
supposed to
singles,
public housing.
so Haslam and Brewster are the
And the-
singles,
Yeah.
right?
No, there's
Not
no, they have families
necessarily.
in there. No, they have lots of families there.
Families, huh?
Not
And
supposed
it's
to
not
have.
just senior only.
Not supposed to have, though.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's not
That's what I
built,
thought.
it's not built for
It's
anyone.
never been designated as senior citizen
Yes, it
housing.
is. When we
No, I
built
said
it.
single.
No, it doesn't,
Yes, it is.
what Hudley
Individuals.
said.
All right.
You want me to call the roll?
No, no,
Oh, we're not done?
no. Any more questions on claims and demands?
Ken was there, we were gonna switch it
Um,
back.
I don't think I have any.
Told us we had to keep it 90%, so then we could change it back.
That's it for me.
Okay.
I'm done.
Oh, there was one item here, an office desk,
Yes.
$5.99. I thought you said we had lots of furniture here.
We do, but I moved my fiscal officer back there as opposed to being amongst the caseworkers. My fiscal officer now is located straight back behind this conference room where she should be,
Right.
and she needed
Okay,
a
so
desk.
that frees up another space in your, okay, okay.
Any more questions on claims and demands? All righty, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Bender,
Aye.
Aldenson,
I,
Sellers,
Aye.
Martin,
No,
Sellers.
Aye.
Okay,
Motion passed. All
motion
right.
passed.
Supervisor's report. I am pleased to report, and Mrs. Martin, I have a copy of this for you as well.
Okay.
The I Earned It Work and Training Program is now complete,
Good.
and I will pass around everything from the program to the contract to the forms for the physicals that clients will have to take. The goal is to have clients ready to start working next Monday, if at all possible. So we're rolling. We're rolling. Thank you. Thank you. Miss Marna. There you go. Thank you. You're welcome. What else we have? I also wanted to show you all our new township budgeting class that our office manager, Miss Sarah, developed the curriculum. And we're going to have clients going to our budgeting classes now, so learn how to budget their money.
will she
So,
teach that class
yes, she
here
will.
then? And will it be here, or do you have to
It'll
find
be here.
space?
It'll be here.
Okay.
And Ms. Marna, your clients are more than welcome to be a part of this budgeting program as well. More than welcome. Yes, ma'am.
so is it gonna be a group budgeting
Yes.
class versus a one-on-one like they used to do?
It'll be a group budgeting class.
Great.
But clients will have individual one-on-one attention if they so desire.
Okay.
Also getting our general assistance professionals proficient in this budgeting course as well, so they can start the course off in the intake. So people already know, once you get in, they'll know the lingo and the verbiage of the course once they get in, so be comfortable. So we'll make it as comfortable as possible. It's going to be a great program.
So when will that start, do you know?
We're going to try and start that one.
Next Monday.
No, it won't be next Monday, not that one.
Not that one.
No.
Oh, that one, I'm sorry, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no, that's fine.
Once we get a identified group of people, it'll probably be by December
okay.
1st.
Okay.
That's the plan. That's what we'll shoot for.
Who has to take this class?
Cool. Who has to take the class?
All of them have to?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Everyone who receives township assistance is going to be required to take this budgeting class.
That's excellent.
Great,
Excellent.
great.
I was at Gaddy Trading, and before I left, a lady from, I think it's the Peoria Township, came and told me how great of a job Freeport Township is doing, how great of a job we're doing, and that we are setting the bar high for other townships in the state. And like I told her, we've not yet even begun, but we're doing the best we possibly can. But she's very impressed with what we're doing. The township officials are impressed with what we're doing as well. So great job,
Great.
great job.
All right.
All right.
Good, I like
Let's
it.
see what else we got. I'm thinking that's all for me.
Do you have, any clients that are ready to start on Monday? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
We're gonna have this coming Wednesday,
Uh-huh.
the health department going through the list that we sent, because we have the contract and the HIPAA thing with them, so they can see the names of our clients, and they're going to go through, and the clients that they've already seen recently, the ones they've seen recently, like within the last week or two, they don't have to take the physical. They'll be ready to go on Monday. So the other ones that they haven't seen in a while will be the ones be required to take the physical. Now this physical is a part of the work and training program. If you miss that physical, you will be sanctioned. It's very important that you go to that physical, because it's part of the work and training program. Just as important as the budgeting course. If you miss that, you will be sanctioned. It's important that you come to these things. It's responsibility.
Right, it is.
So that's what we're doing with the physicals and with the budgeting program.
And is that sanction still 90 days?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Good, good.
My plan is to also get the Ironed Work and Training program printed on a nice poster. We're going to put it out in the lobby area, if that's all right, to let people know when you come to the doors, you need to be reading this. Because I know once we start handing these out to our clients, a lot of applications haven't been coming back.
That's a good thing.
So, you know, a lot of applicants come back because they don't want to deal with this work and training program, which we are required by law to have. And now we have one.
That's great. It weeds out people who aren't serious.
That's good.
All right. So next on the agenda is the assessor's report.
All right.
Do we have a contract?
We have a better than a contract. Okay, let me say, because I've been working with the leasing agent for the building. He has now agreed to waive the 120-day requirement that's in the lease. So we don't have to have a full formal lease modification. All we have to do is send him a simple one-page document in which we exercise the lease to continue it for 1 year, and he will agree in that document also to waive the 120-day notice requirement. So we won't need to do a full contract modification.
Okay, so the resolution we'll bring in at the next meeting?
Yes,
Okay.
and he's all happy with that, and I was gone Thursday and Friday, so I couldn't get it back to him. And I was gone all day today, so I'll try to, I'm gone tomorrow, so I'll try to do it Wednesday.
That's fine. Other than that, we're in the process of working, getting done with the appeals that we've had. I think we had roughly 100. And for some, that seems like a lot for an off year, and it seems like a lot to us because property values all declined. But what it does tell me, I have a desk full of commercial. And this will be an interesting year to see what the board review does with those commercial values. The residentials are not, we had one person, so when I say we have 100, we had one party turn in 35 appeals. So it doesn't take much to get to 100 when you have certain property owners appealing every one that they have.
So this is the 35 different properties?
That one person owns.
Okay.
Wow.
Right. So, we're not too concerned. It's just, but again, it's all now action done and changes made by the board of review. So we'll see what happens when they get finished. And that's all I have.
Okay, question.
Mm-hmm.
Back to, you're staying at 524 West Stevenson Street. do I understand that we have one less township staff now than we had before?
Mhm.
Okay, and I understand that, I've looked at this space, there should be space for 2 offices up front where the reception is, that's a very large area. We have a kitchen area, we have a back space here, and we also have this partition here that's modular, that could be adjusted. Why do you continue to stay and spend taxpayer dollars on rent when you could move in here?
Okay, wait,
Oh, okay.
let me take this one. First, I do believe if you look at this space, if you go back to your drawing, your schematic that you approved as the addendum, this is common area. This is not.
Doesn't have to be.
Well,
it
wait a
could be
minute,
adjusted.
you have that opportunity to adjust it? I don't believe that's the case.
Well, I think it is. Doesn't it, can't this board decide?
No.
No,
It's a
it's a
contract.
common area, it's a contract that you approved it before Patrick took office.
So, okay, and this contract couldn't be adjusted with the parties involved?
I don't know, I've not seen, I mean, I'm not on that. I was excluded from all of those meetings.
Could this not be adjusted based on discussions with the parties involved in modifying that contract?
You can always modify a contract, absolutely.
Okay.
The board also has the authority to void the contract, but that's a whole nother issue.
But I guess my question is, why now would it be where you're trying to figure and put them in, when you didn't try to figure and put them in the beginning?
Why not now? I
Why-
mean, when things happen and you want to make changes because it's to the taxpayer's advantage to make those changes,
But it was at the
why
beginning
wouldn't
it
you?
was. But I'm saying,
Why wouldn't
but
you?
when you first purchased it, it was at the taxpayers' benefit. So
Almost a
it
year
was,
ago.
it was a year ago, it was the taxpayers' benefit. Now you see that it's, where the previous board made some crazy mistakes, and now they're not a part of it. Now you wanna put it on, it's us or it's Patrick, but it's not. I mean, I understand what you're saying, and but I'm just saying, I think that one of the things that came up was that confidentiality. When they're bringing people in and they're talking about people's lives and I mean, just like we couldn't be in here listening. These are certain people's lives and it's confidentiality, and they cannot hear what they're,
Joe?
and they can't have their offices. Now, if they were on the other side of the wall, like they should have been, I think. I mean, this is me though. I think if they would have been on that side of the wall and all their people came through that door and that was the township office and that was the assessor's office and back here was the township, that wall makes it separate. But trying to push them back in here, I don't think so. I think
Do
Cindy
we
can
or
have.
do we not have 2 interview
so.
rooms that have confidentiality issues?
Say that again?
Do we or do we not have interview rooms that have confidentiality issues here?
It's the
This-
same as it's always been.
This whole
They always
office
had cubicles.
is not good for confidentiality. This entire
Okay,
office
now,
is.
do you not have to meet with clients in a confidential arrangement here?
Yes, we do.
Okay,
Mhm.
and you do that,
And we do that.
okay. So what makes you special?
Now, what makes,
I don't
what,
have-
no,
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 it's
what
not.
makes her
Our-
special
Our
is
traffic
because she is
flow
the
something
assessor.
different.
She's the
You don't-
assessor.
we don't have the rights, nor should we be.
No.
Have our ears to any of this.
No.
Joy is correct. What would have made sense if you would have designed this building to be, quote, the township building, you'd have put us up in this section up here where those,
Yeah.
where those offices are.
And then
There would have been a
all-
wall straight across,
There's
and it
all-
would have divided us.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
To me, it's a space issue, and with modular design, you can do something with it.
But
So for you not to reassess it now, rather than spending the additional money, I think is a misuse.
No,
But
I
again,
don't.
I wasn't me that got us, this township, to purchase this building in conjunction with the VAC. It was not me. I was excluded from those meetings
Your
specifically.
space was always a consideration.
No,
It
it
was
wouldn't
not.
have been, or you
Excuse me.
wouldn't, if you go back and
Space was
look
always a
at,
consideration of
Okay.
this board.
go back and look at the
And
drawing.
I don't wanna
and
argue
will
with you,
see-
Cynthia, but that's
you will
how
see-
I perceived it. You perceived it differently.
No
So I
perception.
think this is over.
No perception,
It
if you
is.
truly believed, you would have had us included in
Okay,
the
let
meetings.
me tell you from the beginning.
Please.
Cynthia was asked not to attend any of our meetings, and you voted for that. I was the only one who voted to let her come in. First of all, not because of the space that she needed, but because she understood real estate. No one else that was in the room understood real estate like the lady who here. But yet she was excluded, and you voted for it.
Yes, do you wanna know why I
So
voted
she
to
should have
exclude her?
been in the meeting all the time, not only for the price that we paid, but also for what space she was going to have.
The reason she was excluded, and this is in the minutes, is that she, every time we talked about the building, she said, we shouldn't buy, she shouldn't buy.
So,
Yep,
but,
it's in the minutes.
yeah, but even though she
That's
said,
the
but can I say something?
And
Even
that's
though
why
she-
we
but
couldn't
that's still
have
not-
a decent discussion without it being argumentative.
so. I don't
And that's
think-
why she
I
was
don't think-
excluded.
Okay, hold on a second. Wait a second, wait.
Okay, go ahead.
Point
Wait.
of order.
Point of order.
Okay.
We're gonna speak one at a time.
Okay, sorry.
We're not gonna overtalk one another.
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay. I don't think just because Cindy said, don't buy the building, we shouldn't purchase the building, is not a reason to have her in the meeting. The only reason I'm saying that is because, did you ever listen to understand why she said, don't purchase the building? And maybe don't purchase the building might not have us in the situation that we're in right now, number one. Number two, I think it was more of, you didn't want to hear what, the board did not want to hear what she wanted to say. And you already had your foot and you already had it grounded and saying, we're going to buy this building regardless. So if you're not in here, then you can't stop us. So it's more to it than just she's kept saying, don't purchase the building. Just because she said that is still not a reason not to have her there. It was a reason that she was saying, don't purchase it. So I don't think that that's a good reason not to have her there. But I do think that if she was part of the building process and being a part of this building, she should have had some kind of say-so if she's the assessor, I think. But, I mean, that's just like me and my husband getting a house and I ain't got no say-so in it. She should have some say-so in where she's gonna be and she's gonna, you know, and her workers are gonna be. That's what I think, and that's all I'm gonna say. And it's done. Okay.
And I can only say that we listened plenty until we finally had to make a decision to exclude her, and she never gave us
I want
a
to
reason.
respond to that. In those meetings, the reason I was excluded, you're probably correct, because I did not believe we should be buying a building. I believe seeing us start with a $202,000 deficit this year, it really was not advisable, one. Two, when I found out what the appraisal value came in at, which again, I was told I didn't know what I was talking about, when it came in at a value of $255,000, this board and the VAC chose to pay $376,000, not including the improvements of $20,000 for partitions and whatever else we have in this building for furniture and chairs. I do. It was exorbitant. This board, previous board, except for Nikki, had no idea what they were doing when they made that purchase. That was my state.
Yes, we did, and that wasn't your stand. You never gave us those details. But let me tell you something. One of the things that was taken under consideration was the money was in the capital fund, the budget was balanced. Okay? So the money was already there. We didn't have to increase our taxes. We didn't have to up our budget. It was already there. This, we looked at what it would cost us to rent versus purchase. And you were there for those discussions. And those were made at the board meeting. And we gave you statistics. I have them at home. I could bring them, where in 5 years, we would have spent $210,000 versus spending 188 to get a building that was gonna be ours free and clear. Now, we eventually would have had to spend more money than what this building cost us over a period of time, and had nothing to show for it. And that was the argument that we made, and it was given to us and we discussed. And that was why we felt it was a win-win situation for us to purchase the building. Because in the long run, it would cost us less than it would be to rent,
In the long run.
in the long run.
In the long run, and yet you paid, let me see, 376 minus 255, $120-some thousand more than what you should have for this building.
Cynthia, did you even bother to get
Okay.
a letter from Newell about what they put in this building? Did you even bother to get a letter from Dave Fonda, what he put in this building? Did you even bother to get what this building cost initially?
That would require me not to have to FOIA for everything that I've ever asked for, including the appraisal, which I had to FOIA to get.
Yeah.
In that appraisal, it said the value of this building in the market was $255,000. Now, you explain to a taxpayer why you would pay $376,000 for a building that was worth $255,000. One. Two, you're right, you didn't have to go after any monies. You didn't have to go for any tax rates or any referendums. You want to tell the rest of these people why? Because you moved money in 1 year, 80,000. You moved money another year, 100,000. You moved money and budgeted. You did it without the public knowing, Mickey. That's what you did.
Those budgets were advertised, those budgets were in the paper.
You moved the money so that the
Yeah.
public didn't
But
have to
people
be,
didn't understand.
they didn't have a
Of course not.
clue.
Yeah. Well,
You moved
They-
that
they were
money
there. They were there.
intentionally to purchase a
Okay.
building without
but
the
it
public.
was
Okay,
in the
okay.
capital fund, and there was enough there that we didn't raise taxes, and we didn't shirk our duties
Well,
to
you
the
gonna
clients
raise them
that we
now.
serve.
Point of order,
And,
please.
Okay.
Point of order, please. Point of order.
We gonna raise it.
Okay. What was on the floor was a valid question that Trustee Martin asked. True enough. We've had our discussion about it. Now we need to move on.
Thank you.
Trustees report.
Yes, I have something I'd like to clarify. I was accused on the 15th of October of giving out information from an executive session. I was told that the individual that I met with said, I already know all this information, I got it from Mickey Martin. This person I met with this week, he is going to his attorney, he is gonna write up a statement that he did not say this, he's gonna have it notarized, and it will be sent to you. He never said that he knew all about it from me, because number one, I never gave him the information. So, whatever you think and whosever picture you have, I'm still waiting for the picture.
You'll get it.
Yeah, it's been 6 days and I've asked you for it and you
You'll
still
get
don't
it.
have it.
I get
And
it.
the other
You'll
thing
get
I
it.
want is I want the unedited, uncut version of the video from last October 15th.
Once it's rendered, you'll get it. Mike, can you explain?
First of all, the company that does it, it's not in our possession. We don't have it.
I understand
we don't
that.
have
We
it.
don't have it until we pay for it.
I didn't know that part. That's,
Well, I would assume that it's not ours until we pay for it.
I know we have a contract, we have an oral contract with the company
Yeah.
to do the videoing. But we can't give you something we don't have. If there's something that any trustee or any official is asking for a township business, absolutely, we give that, no questions asked. However, and I've done this consistently for all my clients, if anyone else is asking for certain documents or items that we have in our possession, we ask for it to be in the form of a FOIA request, which there's no special form. We don't say use our form. No, just send us something in writing so we know exactly what you want, and we'll answer it as a FOIA request. The reason we do that is for two reasons. A, they changed the FOIA law to make it a $2,500 fine, potentially, for each violation. So I want to be clear. And second of all, if somebody says, well, you guys don't grant any FOIA requests, and I've said this many times, I want to walk into court with a stack that high of ones we've granted Oh, yeah, we denied his for valid reasons, but we granted all these other ones. So that's why I do that. Now, we had some issues with that with some of my clients. That's my recommendation. My clients can always choose not to follow my recommendations. So what I'm trying to say is, if somebody wants something for a personal reason, unrelated to the town duties, then we're gonna ask for it to be in writing, and we'll treat it as a FOIA request. Emails are fine. Don't have to have any special documents. But if it's just a normal, like if you wanna, can I see the claim and demands from last month? Fine, we'll give you those right away, because that's part of your duties, not a problem. So that's the point I'm gonna make is, we can't give you something we don't have yet. Patrick says that photo is in our possession. That will be produced. He sent it to me today. I haven't seen the email today yet, because I've been in the car driving all day.
Did you send it to me today too?
He wanted to send it to me first. I asked him, my fault,
Okay.
trustee. I asked him, let me see before you release things, what we're releasing. He said, okay, I'll send it to you, and I have, I was kind of looking on my phone for it, but I didn't have it. So, we'll get to that, so, just so you understand why. This is, and we do this for everybody. The newspaper comes in and says, I want such and such, not a problem. Give me a piece of paper saying you want it, we'll treat it as a FOIA request, and if we have it handy, we'll give it to you right away.
Okay, now, just a question for clarification.
Sure.
When would I be able to get a copy of the video of the 15th meeting?
Once it's in our possession.
And at what point do you think it's gonna be in your possession?
That's a very good question. And the honest answer is, I don't know, I haven't been here today to ask to find that out, how it's
Okay.
gonna be done.
Why are we just doing video and not audio? We always had audio, and audio was always available to us.
We're doing both.
Wait, well, the video and audio, you mean?
No, we
Right.
always did the
You mean
recording.
an audio recording?
Audio
of the
recording,
public?
and, yes,
Oh, the-
and also, you know, when they were doing the
Song.
video, when the video first started, we were doing also the tape recorder.
Okay, the statute requires us to do tape recording for executive sessions.
Executive session.
Doesn't require it to do it for regular sessions, and since I don't, the answer, honest answer is, I don't know. That wasn't my call, I wasn't asked on that. But I would assume that since the video is far better rendering of what happens at a meeting than an audio, because, you know, you and I have heard audio things, and sometimes
Can be
it's hard
difficult, yes.
to tell who's saying it and what's said. A video, you can see who's talking, and it should be clear in that regard. So but I'm assuming, I don't know, I wasn't
But
involved
at
in that
some
decision.
point, I would be able to get the uncut, unedited version of the October 15th meeting, just to verify some things for my own
If it
information as a
exists, yes.
trustee.
If it exists, yes.
If it exists.
If it's not in our possession, okay, and pursuant to the Open Meetings Act, you know, we can get things for people we have a contract for. But I'm not gonna tell you something, I'm gonna guarantee you something's gonna happen in the future that I have no control over of how it goes.
So there's a possibility that I won't get it.
There's always a possibility that the sun will flame out and we'll all be dead tomorrow too, yes.
Yeah,
No,
right.
I don't know.
That's a bunch of
Yeah,
gobbledygook,
but-
Michael, for heaven's sake. This is a government
It's our
public
intention,
meeting.
it's our intention to give it, it's
She
the
should've been
intention
so
to,
interested in
it's
you
the
4
intention
years
to give it
ago.
to you. But I mean, I just never
That's
guarantee
because things
anything.
are all screwed up, Nikki. Thank you for the side comment.
Okay.
It's going on our website, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
But I want the uncut, unedited.
Okay, is there any other business?
I guess, I'm just gonna say this little bit and then I'm gonna be done. I just don't think that it's right that you, Trustee Martin, you can be rude to people, but you don't want people to be rude to you. And I don't think it's fair, because people have, I mean, everybody on the board has tried to, we've listened to what you said, and I just don't think that sometimes your tones, and, okay, I'm done,
Okay. I
Don't-
apologize
okay,
if
thank
my
you.
tone
is wrong.
is wrong.
Okay,
And
well,
I
thank
will
you.
work on
Okay,
toning that down if
Thank you.
indeed that is problematic. But I think these are very serious questions for me.
right, and for
And I
everybody.
think that I just want some answers, and I am willing to meet with Mr. Sellers so we don't take up more time to do
Right,
this.
and I understand that, but.
And I'm
Absolutely.
happy to do that.
Everybody
And if my
deserves
tone
respect,
is,
right.
it's probably because I come from a large family and are
I
to
did
be
too.
heard.
Right,
You
I
know,
did
it's
too. I
sometimes
came
you
from
just
a large-
had to push
Right.
yourself a little
Right, I
bit.
came from a large
Okay.
family too.
So I
Okay.
apologize for my tone, and
Okay.
if I'm asking a question, I will be more
Okay.
conscious of
Okay.
toning it
Well,
down.
thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. What's on the agenda next is public comment. Any public comments?
Thank you.
Please state your name
My
and
name is Barb Casson
address.
at 2556 Stevenson Circle,
Okay.
Freeport, Illinois. And I read the article in the paper the other day, and I wasn't really happy about it. It really, really upset me because I'm seeing some not wanting to work to control and to get rid of the problem that has come because of this building and because of everything else going on. I see some people don't want to work together to get rid of these problems and to move forward. Sometimes they're not paying attention. If they are, they don't comprehend the subjects discussed, and they don't. And for the last administration, they might have just went along to get along. Okay, this has helped. I feel help pave the way to the predicament that this current township is in. And that is not fair to the people who are working here, and it's not fair to the township. It's not fair to the taxpayers who are still seeing crap in the paper because somebody wants to complain. This is not an attack on your character, only an observation of how current circumstances have come about. And you're making these problems all about you and what you feel. And that's all I have to say.
No, they're not about
Thank
me.
you.
I'm sorry.
Thank
That's
you.
not true.
Thank you.
And that's your opinion.
All righty.
And this is my opinion.
Okay. Need a motion to adjourn until Monday, November 4th, 2013.
I'll make a motion.
Sellers,
Yeah. Motion by Sellers, second by
Bender,
Bender.
is that Bender?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Please call the roll.
Just voice vote, you can do that.
Okay. All in favor of adjournment?
Yeah.
Any opposed?
Too bad.
Motion
Oh, guys,
passes.
please sign this before you go.
Thank
cannot
you.
leave. You
You
didn't,
don't-
but you didn't vote on
You
it,
didn't
so
vote
you
on
don't
it, so you
need
have to
to
sign.
Right.